The WHO, World Health Organization, suggests drinking water if you swallowed ink and indicates that there's no need to do anything else.
Could you do graffiti with your dick if you swallow a lot of ink?
Maybe. Ink poisoning symptoms.
That's the kind of shit the grown-ups don't want you to know. Do you remember, did you like chew on your pens and pencils as a kid?
Yeah.
You chew on pens?
Pens.
I used to chew on pens a lot.
Yeah.
Bic.
Yeah.
And I always used to hear about ink poisoning. Remember that?
Well, I didn't chew on the ink part. I would only... Dude, I've seen so many people chewing like on their pens and it just like exploding all over their mouth.
But do you remember a grown-up telling you not to chew on your pen because you'll get ink poisoning?
Yeah.
I remember, I obviously have a lot of tattoos now, but in my teenage years, I remember thinking, okay, if ink poisoning is real, then why would anyone in their right mind get ink injected into their bodies? So I guess my question is ink poisoning real or just something that grown-ups told us so that we wouldn't explode our pens in our mouths?
I'm sure it's real. I'm sure that there's some realness to it.
So what's the difference? Like if I drank tattoo ink?
I guess so, maybe. I mean...
Tattoo ink is where Luke Skywalker was from. Am I gonna... Like if... I remember giving myself like a tattoo by sticking a needle in ink and putting it in my arm like a little idiot.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, that's dumb. But I wanted a tattoo. I thought they were cool. And I was the only child, so I get bored a lot.
Will ink poisoning kill you? When most people think of ink poisoning, they imagine...
Chewing on a big pen.
Someone swallowing ink from a pen.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to find out that this was like just something that grown-ups said.
If you consume ink, for instance, by chewing on the end of a pen and getting ink in your mouth, you don't need to be overly concerned. According to a publication by the World Health Organization.
The same people that tell us, all about coronavirus.
Yep. Ballpoint pens, felt tip pens, and fountain pens could contain so little ink that there is not enough to cause poisoning if it is sucked from a pen.
You will have to drink exactly 4,500 pens.
Some inks may cause soreness in the mouth. Large amounts of ink swallowed from a bottle could be irritant, but serious poisoning has not been reported.
That's great. What a great shitty bad kid Mythbusters episode this was.
The WHO, World Health Organization, suggests drinking water if you swallowed ink and indicates that there's no need to do anything else.
Could you do graffiti with your dick if you swallow a lot of ink?
Maybe. Ink poisoning symptoms.
That's the kind of shit the grown-ups don't want you to know.
Ink from pens, markers, highlighters, etc. is considered minimally toxic and in such a small quantity that it's commonly not a poisoning concern.
I think that grown-ups could have just told us that chewing out our pens was gross. Don't do that. It's gross. You haven't washed your hands in a month and a half, and now you're chewing on what you have your hand around at all times. That's way scarier than like, hey, man, you're going to get ink poisoning. Just be like, you're going to get fucking hepatitis.
Yeah. Symptoms are typically stained skin or tongue, although likely mild stomach upset. Mm-hmm. Because of the amount of ink in printer cartridges and stamp pads. Seek medical attention if the ink from one of these sources has been consumed.
You remember Danny in school? He always used to suck on the ink cartridges, the printer ink cartridges.
Ink poisoning does not occur from drawing on your skin. Ink may temporarily stain or may stain your skin, but it will not poison you.
I remember girls used to draw on my arms and like write things on my arms. And my mom and dad would be like, don't let them do that to you. Mm-hmm. Don't let these girls.
Unlike skin.
I was so psyched that girls were paying attention to me. Like, let me do that cool S on your arm. Let me do that pointy S real quick.
It's for Steve. I really like Steve.
Girls writing, I love Steve. Fuck, man.
Unlike skin, eye irritation from ink is a common problem. If you believe you got ink in your eye,
you probably did.
Try rinsing the irritated eye with cool water until the discomfort is gone.
Try putting an eraser in your eye.
Although the white part of your eye may be stained temporarily, ink in your eye is unlikely to cause permanent or long-term complications.
Ink in your eye is like if you make a little mistake in front of people. Like, I really got ink in my eye on that one.
Ink in Your Eye is my favorite 90s band. If the irritation...
Ink in your park. Crawling in your eye. We like to have fun here, don't we?
Soaking in my skin. If the irritation continues or if you have blurred vision, go see a doctor. There we go. That's all I'm reading.
Fuck,
it goes into poisoning and tattoos, but I'm not getting in there.
So there is a way to get poisoned by ink. But it's not the way our parents told us to get us to stop sucking on pens.
According to a 2015 poll of 2,225 U.S. adults, 29% of Americans have at least one tattoo, and those people are 69% to have 2 or more.
69, nice.
Of those, yeah. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration indicates that when getting a tattoo, while you should be on the lookout for unhygienic practices and equipment that hasn't been sterilized.
Yeah, but that isn't ink poisoning. That's like...
Ink should also be a concern.
Dirty needles.
Yes. Tattoo,
Also, don't fuck an octopus.
Don't do it.
Or a squid.
Tattoo ink or dye that's contaminated with mold or bacteria can result in infections.
Ilk.
That just turned my stomach a little bit.
Yeah.
Tattoo ink is considered to be a cosmetic product by the FDA. There are no pigments, ingredients that add color, if you didn't know what pigments were.
This little pigment went to market.
For injection into the skin or for cosmetic purposes that have the FDA approval.
No pigments have FDA approval?
No.
So tattoos are not approved by the FDA?
There are no pigments for injection into the skin for cosmetic purposes that have FDA approval. I guess that's what that means.
Interesting. So
according to the Mayo Clinic, the pigments most likely to cause allergic skin reactions are red, yellow, green, and blue.
Interesting.
An aggressive infection could have symptoms such as high fever, sweats, chills, and shakes.
Aggressive infection is when you see a baby and you want to bite their head off.